A 6-year-old boy sent his sick mum's photo to her ex. The millionaire CEO cancelled his wedding and toward ex. Hi, my beautiful family. Welcome back to Mr. Peter Stories, your own family channel. Heavenly God, we place our hearts before you with humility and gratitude. Please surround this family with your mercy, peace, and protection. Bless every home with calm nights, hopeful mornings, and strength for every unseen battle. Let health replace worry, let peace replace fear, and let love guide every step we take. Lord, I lift every woman in this family into your light. Cover them with dignity, wisdom, and unbreakable strength. They carry families, emotions, and silent sacrifices without asking for recognition. Reward them with good health, inner peace, and lives filled with respect. Let no woman here ever feel forgotten, weak, or alone, because their value is priceless and their presence is a blessing to this world. My beautiful family, these words come from the heart. I write with sincerity, prayer, and love for you. Stay with me, feel this moment, and walk this journey together, because this family is built on respect, care, and trust. If your heart is true, like the video, if your love is real, write, I am with Mr. Peter. The organ music swelled through St. Patrick's Cathedral like a beautiful lie. Patrick Walker stood at the altar in his custom Italian tuxedo, staring at the massive wooden doors where his bride would appear any moment. The church was packed with Manhattan's elite, investors, socialites, business partners, all watching him with champagne smiles and diamond-studded expectations. His mother, Justine Walker, sat in the front pew, wearing cream Chanel and an expression of perfect triumph. She'd won. After years of resistance, her son was finally marrying someone suitable. Catherine Chen would walk through those doors in minutes, and Patrick would say vows he didn't mean to a woman he didn't love. His phone buzzed in his pocket. Patrick almost ignored it. The ceremony was starting. The priest cleared his throat meaningfully. But something made him reach for it anyway, some instinct that felt like a hand pulling him back from the edge of a cliff. Unknown number. One new message. He opened it. The photograph loaded slowly, pixel by agonizing pixel. A woman's face appeared on the screen. Hospital room, fluorescent lighting, exhausted eyes closed, skin glistening with fever, dark hair spread across a white pillow. Patrick's heart stopped. He knew that face. He'd spent 6 years trying to forget it. 6 years trying to convince himself she was exactly what his mother said she was. A thief, a liar, someone who'd used him and disappeared. 6 years telling himself that the woman he'd loved more than breathing had never existed at all. Salma Hayek. The phone slipped from his hand, clattered on the marble floor. Patrick? The priest leaned forward, concerned. Son, are you all right? The organ music seemed to grow louder, more insistent. Through the tall windows, New York sunlight streamed in golden shafts. Everything looked perfect. Everything looked exactly like the life his mother had planned for him. Patrick bent down, grabbed his phone, looked at the photograph again. It was her, older, thinner, but unmistakably her. Those cheekbones, that mouth he'd kissed 1,000 times. She was in a hospital somewhere, sick or hurt, or he couldn't finish the thought. Patrick, what's wrong? His best man gripped his shoulder. The cathedral doors opened. Catherine appeared in white silk and lace, her father's arm linked through hers. She looked beautiful, elegant, completely wrong. Patrick stared at the photograph on his phone, then at Catherine, then at his mother, whose smile had frozen into something sharp and dangerous. He made his choice in a heartbeat. I'm sorry, Patrick said, loud enough for the front rows to hear. Then louder. I'm so sorry, I can't do this. The organ music stuttered to a stop. Patrick, what are you? The priest started, but Patrick was already moving. He ran down the altar steps, his dress shoes sliding on polished marble. Catherine stopped halfway down the aisle, her face transforming from radiant to horrified. Gasps rippled through the pews like wind through wheat. "Patrick Walker, you stop right now." His mother's voice cracked like a whip. He didn't stop. He ran past Catherine, past her stunned father, past rows of shocked guests pulling out their phones to record this disaster. Behind him, his mother was screaming something about disgrace and responsibility, but her voice faded as he burst through the cathedral doors into blinding sunlight. His driver stood by the limousine, smoking a cigarette. "Airport," Patrick gasped. "Now, private terminal." "Sir, the reception." "Airport." The driver scrambled into the front seat. Patrick dove into the back, already pulling up his pilot's contact information. Behind them, the driver scrambled into the front seat. Patrick dove into the back, already pulling up his pilot's contact information. Behind them, wedding guests poured out of the cathedral. Someone was crying. Someone else was laughing. Patrick didn't look back. In his hand, the phone screen still glowed with that photograph. Salma. Alive. Somewhere. He'd find her, even if it meant burning down every bridge he'd ever built. The private jet took off from Teterboro an hour later. Patrick sat alone in the leather seat, still wearing his tuxedo, bow tie hanging loose around his neck. Miami. The photo had been sent from Miami. Patrick stared out the window at clouds rushing past. His phone kept buzzing with messages he didn't read. The wedding had been streaming live. By now the video of him running from the altar was everywhere. Runaway groom, CEO. He didn't care. The jet's interior was too quiet, too perfect. Patrick closed his eyes, but all he saw was Salma's face. Not the sick woman in the hospital photo. The Salma he remembered, laughing at some terrible joke he'd made, dancing in their apartment kitchen at midnight, looking at him like he was the only person in the world who mattered, then gone. She'd left a note on their bed, 3 sentences that had destroyed him. "I'm sorry. Your mother was right about me. Don't look for me." He'd looked anyway, hired the best investigators money could buy. They'd found nothing. And then his mother had shown him the bank statements, the transfers, evidence of theft. Patrick had wanted to believe she was innocent, but the evidence was there, and Salma was gone. Except he had known her. He knew he had. "Sir," the pilot's voice cracked through the intercom, "we're beginning our descent into Miami." Patrick sat up, straightened his bow tie out of habit, then tore it off completely. What was he doing? Running toward a woman who'd stolen from him and disappeared? He looked at the photograph again. "I'm coming," he whispered to the screen. "Just hold on." Miami hit him like a wall of heat when he stepped off the plane. Midnight, but the air was thick and warm. Patrick climbed into the waiting car he'd arranged, gave the driver the hospital address his team had tracked down. Jackson Memorial Hospital. The city blurred past, palm trees, Art Deco buildings, streets still busy despite the late hour. Patrick's hands wouldn't stop shaking. He tried to prepare himself. Salma sick, Salma angry, Salma with someone else, a whole new life he wasn't part of. The hospital appeared, massive and lit up against the night sky. Patrick walked through the emergency entrance, still wearing his tuxedo. A security guard looked up, startled. The late-night receptionist's eyes widened. "I need to find a patient," Patrick said. "Salma Hayek." The receptionist typed, frowned. "Are you family?" "Yes." The lie came easily. "Room 417, 4th floor. But sir, visiting hours are—" Patrick was already moving toward the elevators. The 4th floor was quiet, just the beep of monitors and the soft squeak of nurses' shoes on linoleum. Patrick found room 417 halfway down the corridor. The door was partially open. He pushed it open wider. The room was small, clean, filled with the antiseptic smell of hospitals everywhere. And there in the bed, exactly like the photograph, Salma. She was asleep. Her face was thinner than he remembered. sharp cheekbones, more pronounced but still beautiful. Still her. An IV drip fed into her arm. Monitors beeped softly. Patrick's legs nearly gave out. He grabbed the doorframe, just staring. She was real. She was alive. She was here. "Can I help you?" Patrick spun around. A nurse stood behind him, holding a chart, her expression professional but wary. His voice cracked. "I'm here to see Salma Hayek. Are you family?" "Yes, No, he's not." The voice came from behind him, small but fierce. Patrick turned. A little boy stood in the hallway, maybe 6 years old, wearing pajamas with cartoon characters on them. He was small, skinny, with beautiful dark skin, and the most striking eyes Patrick had ever seen. Eyes he recognized. Eyes he saw in the mirror every morning. "Johan, honey, you should be sleeping," the nurse said gently. The boy, Johan, ignored her. He stared at Patrick with an intensity that was unnerving in someone so young. "You're the man from the picture." Patrick's mouth went dry. "What picture?" "The one Mama keeps in her jewelry box. The one she cries over when she thinks I'm sleeping." The nurse looked between them, confused. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to get him out." Patrick's head snapped toward the hospital room. Salma was awake, sitting up despite the IV, her eyes blazing with fury he'd never seen before. "Salma, get him out!" Her voice was rough, sick, but the rage in it was perfectly clear. "Security! Someone call security!" "Mama, no!" Johan started. "Johan, go back to the waiting room. Now." The little boy looked at Patrick one more time, something searching in his gaze, then ran down the hallway. Patrick stepped toward the room. "Salma, please, you need to leave." She was shaking, her hands gripping the bed rails. "You have no right to be here." "Is he mine?" The words burst out before he could stop them. "That boy, Johan, is he mine?" Salma's face went white. For a moment she looked like she might faint. Then her expression hardened into something cold and terrible. "You gave up that right 6 years ago when you chose your world over us. Now get out before I have you arrested." "I never chose, Salma. I don't know what you're talking about. I looked for you everywhere. For years Liar! The heart monitor began beeping faster. "I saw the photographs. I saw her. Your mother told me everything." "What photographs? Salma, I never—" A security guard appeared in the doorway. "Sir, you need to leave. Now." "Please," Patrick's voice broke. "Please, just tell me. Is Johan my son?" Salma turned her face away, but not before he saw tears streaming down her cheeks. "Nurse, if this man comes near my room again, call the police. I want him gone." The security guard gripped Patrick's arm. "Let's go, sir." Patrick let himself be pulled backward, his eyes locked on Salma's turned face. "I'm not leaving Miami. I'm not leaving until you tell me the truth." "The truth?" Salma's laugh was bitter, broken. "The truth is you destroyed me. Now get out." The security guard pulled Patrick into the hallway. Behind him he heard Salma sobbing, heard the nurse trying to calm her down. And down the corridor, sitting on a plastic chair too big for him, Johan watched everything with those eyes, Patrick's eyes, filled with confusion no child should have to feel. Patrick stood in that hospital hallway, still wearing his tuxedo, his wedding day in ruins, his entire life shattered. Somewhere in New York, his mother was probably celebrating. But here in Miami, Patrick Walker made himself a promise. He would find out what happened 6 years ago. He would uncover every lie, and he would fix this, even if it took the rest of his life. Johan looked up at him from that plastic chair, small and scared and heartbreakingly familiar. Patrick met his son's eyes. "I'm not leaving," he said quietly. The little boy nodded, like he'd expected nothing less. Chapter 2. The Queen Who Built an Empire. Patrick woke up in a hotel room that smelled like ocean and regret. Sunlight poured through floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Miami Beach. He'd checked into the first hotel he could find after leaving the hospital, too exhausted to care that he was still wearing his wedding tuxedo. Now, morning light revealed the full disaster. His jacket crumpled on the floor, his phone dead on the nightstand. He plugged in his phone. It exploded with notifications. 73 missed calls, 216 text messages. Patrick scrolled through them with numb fingers. The wedding video had gone viral. Someone had captured the moment he'd run from the altar in perfect high definition. The comments were brutal. Runaway groom CEO breaks hearts and market confidence. Walker Enterprises stock plummets after wedding disaster. His phone rang. His mother's face appeared on the screen. Patrick declined the call. It rang again immediately, declined again and again. On the fourth attempt, he answered. "Where are you?" Justine's voice was ice wrapped in razor wire. "Do you have any idea what you've done? Catherine's family is threatening to sue. The board called an emergency meeting. Get back to New York right now." "No." Silence. His mother wasn't used to that word. "What did you say to me?" "I said no. I'm in Miami. I found her." More silence, then, "Found who?" "You know exactly who." His mother's laugh was sharp, ugly. "That thief? Patrick, she stole from you. I showed you the evidence. Why are you doing this?" "Because she's in a hospital. Because there's a little boy who looks exactly like me. Because nothing about this makes sense, Mother. Listen to me very carefully." Justine's voice dropped to something dangerous. "That woman is manipulating you. Again, you're being a fool." "Then I'm a fool. I'll call you when I have answers. If you don't come home right now, the board will remove you." "Let them." Patrick hung up. His hands were shaking. He'd never defied his mother like that before. It felt terrifying and liberating at the same time. An hour later, showered and wearing clothes he'd bought from the hotel gift shop, Patrick stood outside Jackson Memorial Hospital. He couldn't go inside. Salma had made that clear. But he could wait. He'd been standing there for 20 minutes when a black Mercedes pulled into the parking lot. Salma emerged from the passenger side. Patrick's breath caught. She wasn't in a hospital gown anymore. She wore a navy blue dress that fit her perfectly. Her hair pulled back in an elegant twist. She looked healthy, strong, nothing like the sick woman he'd seen the night before. She moved with a confidence that made her seem taller than she was. A nurse walked beside her, carrying discharge papers. "Thank you for everything," Salma said, her voice warm. "I'll follow up with my regular doctor next week." "Take care of yourself, Miss Hayek, and that brilliant son of yours." Salma smiled, and Patrick's heart cracked open. He'd forgotten how beautiful she was when she smiled. Then she saw him. The smile died instantly. Her expression went cold, closed, dangerous. "What are you doing here? I needed to see you. I told you to leave." "I know. I can't." The nurse looked between them nervously. "Should I call security, Miss Hayek?" "No," Salma said quietly. "He's leaving. Aren't you, Patrick?" "Not until you talk to me." "There's nothing to talk about. Johan is my son." It wasn't a question this time. Salma's jaw tightened. "You lost the right to call him that." "Maybe, but he's still mine, and you can't change that no matter how much you hate me." "Hate you?" Salma laughed, brittle and sharp. "I don't hate you, Patrick. I don't feel anything for you at all anymore. You're just a stranger wearing a familiar face." The words hit him like bullets. Patrick stepped closer. Salma didn't back away, just stared at him with those cold, beautiful eyes. "Then look me in the eye and tell me you never loved me." For a moment, just a moment, something flickered in her expression. Something that looked like pain. Then it was gone. "I loved who I thought you were. Turns out that person never existed." A car horn honked. The Mercedes driver gestured impatiently. "I have to go," Salma said. "I have a business to run. Unlike some people, I can't spend my days stalking my exes." Where's Johan? None of your business. Salma, please, stop. She held up a hand. Just stop. You had 6 years to find us if you actually cared. You didn't. Now it's too late. I'm not married. I ran from the wedding. For you. Salma stared at him for a long moment. Then she shook her head, something almost like pity crossing her face. That's the saddest part. You actually think that matters. You think a grand gesture fixes everything. She moved past him toward the Mercedes. It doesn't. You can't fix this. Where are you going? She paused at the car door. To work. Some of us have to earn our money. What do you do? Why do you care? Because I want to know everything I missed. Salma's laugh was bitter. You want to know what I do? Fine. I plan weddings. I own Phoenix Moments, Miami's premier event planning company. And before you ask, yes, I built it from nothing. No stolen money, just hard work. She got into the Mercedes. The door slammed. Patrick stood there, watching the car drive away, his mind reeling. Salma owned a company, a successful one. She'd built an entire life here, raised their son, became someone extraordinary. All while he'd spent 6 years half alive in New York, following his mother's plans. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. The same number that had sent the hospital photograph. A new message. Meet me at Bayside Park, the playground. Come alone. J. Johan. A 6-year-old child was orchestrating meetings now. Patrick should have been concerned. Instead, he felt pride. His son was brilliant. Bayside Park was crowded with tourists and locals enjoying the Miami sunshine. Patrick found the playground easily. Bright colors and children's laughter made it impossible to miss. Johan sat on a swing, not swinging, just waiting. He wore a school uniform, khaki pants and a white polo shirt. His backpack sat at his feet. He looked so small, so serious. Patrick approached slowly. Hi. Johan looked up. Those eyes, Patrick's eyes, studied him carefully. You came. You asked me to. Mama would be mad if she knew I texted you. How did you get my number? Johan shrugged. I found an old phone bill in Mama's office. Your name was on it, from before. I'm good with computers. I can see that. Patrick gestured to the empty swing. May I? Johan nodded. They sat in silence for a moment, two strangers connected by blood and nothing else. Children screamed and played around them. Are you really my dad? Johan asked finally, his voice small. Yes. Why did you leave us? The question was so simple, so devastating. Patrick felt something break inside his chest. I didn't leave you, Johan. I didn't know you existed. Your mother left me, and she never told me about you. That's not what Mama says. What does Mama say? That you picked your family over us. That your mother said terrible things, and you believed her. Patrick closed his eyes. Your mother is partly right. My mother did say terrible things, and I believed evidence instead of my heart. I made a terrible mistake. What kind of evidence? Bank records. Things that made it look like your mother stole from me. Mama's not a thief. Johan jumped off the swing, fists clenched. Take it back. Hey. Patrick held up his hands. You're right. I don't think she's a thief either. Not anymore. I think someone lied to both of us. Johan relaxed slightly. Who? I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out. My grandma Justine? The name hit Patrick like ice water. You know about her? Mama has a picture. She told me that's my grandma, but we can't visit her because she's a bad person. Is she bad? Patrick thought about his mother, about the evidence she'd shown him, about how quickly she'd provided those bank statements when Salma disappeared. Yes, he said quietly. I think she might be. Johan sat back down on the swing. Are you going to leave again? No. Promise? I promise. Mama says promises don't mean anything. Then I'll prove it with actions. I'm not going anywhere, Johan. Johan looked at him with those serious eyes. Mama's going to be really mad. Probably. She might not let me see you again. Then I'll wait. That could be a long time. I've already waited 6 years. I can wait longer. Johan smiled then, small and hesitant, but real. You look like me. You look exactly like me. You're so handsome. Mama says I'm handsome too. Johan paused. Did you break her heart? Yes, and she broke mine, but I think someone else broke both of ours first. A car pulled up to the curb, the same black Mercedes from the hospital. Salma emerged like a hurricane, storming across the playground toward them. Johann Alexander Hayek, what did I tell you? Johann jumped off the swing, grabbing his backpack. Sorry, Mama, I just wanted to talk to him. Salma reached them, breathing hard, her eyes blazing. She grabbed Johann's hand. Get in the car, now. But Mama, now! Johann looked at Patrick one more time, then ran toward the Mercedes. Salma turned to Patrick, and the fury in her eyes could have burned down cities. If you ever contact my son again without my permission, I will destroy you. Do you understand me? He contacted me. He's 6 years old. He doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's brilliant, just like his mother. Salma's hand flew up. For a moment, Patrick thought she might slap him. Instead, she pressed her palm against her own chest. Don't, she whispered. Don't you dare act like you know anything about who I am now. Then tell me, let me know you. Why? So you can judge me again? Believe lies about me again? I never chose her over you. Yes, you did. Salma was shaking. When she showed you that evidence, you believed her. You didn't fight for me. You let me go. You left. What was I supposed to think? You were supposed to know me. You were supposed to trust that the woman you loved wouldn't steal from you. There was evidence, Salma, physical proof. There's always evidence when someone wants to frame you. Salma's voice cracked. But you never even considered that, did you? Patrick had no answer. In the Mercedes, Johann watched through the window, his small face pressed against the glass. I need to go, Salma said quietly. My son needs dinner. This is my life now, finding out what really happened, being here for Johann. I don't need you. But her voice wavered. Maybe not, but Johann might. Salma's expression hardened. Biology doesn't make you a father. Being there does, and you weren't. She walked away, her heels clicking against the pavement, her back straight and proud. Patrick watched her drive away with his son, watched his whole heart disappear down a Miami street. His phone rang, his mother again. This time he answered with a question. Mother, those bank statements you showed me 6 years ago, do you still have them? Justine's pause was too long. Why? Because I want to see them again. Patrick, you're being ridiculous. Come home. I am being rational. For the first time in 6 years, do you have the statements or not? They're in storage somewhere. I'd have to find them. Send them to me. I want to hire a forensic accountant. A forensic accountant. Patrick, what's gotten into you? The truth, Mother, or the possibility of it. He hung up before she could respond. Around him, children played and parents laughed, and the Miami sun beat down warm and bright. And Patrick Walker felt more alive than he had in 6 years. The truth was out there somewhere, and he was going to find it. Chapter 3. The Son Who Knows a Secret. Patrick's hotel room had become a war room. Papers covered the bed, financial records, investigator reports, printouts of old text messages. His laptop displayed bank statements from 6 years ago, the ones his mother had finally, reluctantly sent over. He'd hired the best forensic accountant in Miami, a sharp-eyed woman named Rebecca Torres, who'd promised him answers. But answers took time, and time was something he couldn't afford while Salma built walls higher every day. His phone buzzed. Another unknown number. Hello? It's me. Johan's whisper was barely audible. "Don't say my name. Mama's in the shower." Patrick sat up straight. "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I just wanted to talk. Is that okay?" "It's more than okay. I'm being careful." A pause. "Are you still in Miami?" "Yes." "Are you going to stay?" "As long as it takes." "Mama cried last night after we got home. She thought I was asleep, but I heard her. She was talking to her friend Rosa, saying she can't do this again." Patrick closed his eyes, pain lancing through his chest. "I don't want to hurt her." "Then why did you come back?" "Because I needed to know the truth, because I never stopped loving her, and because I have a son I didn't know about." "Do you love me?" The question was so direct, so vulnerable. "Yes. I know I just met you, but yes, you're my son. How could I not love you?" "Mama says love has to be proven." "Your mother is right, so let me prove it. What do you need?" Johan was quiet for a moment. "There's a thing at my school next week. A father-son breakfast. I never get to go. Could you come with me?" Patrick's heart shattered and rebuilt itself in the same instant. "I would love nothing more. But your mother, I'll ask her. Maybe if she sees you with me, she'll stop being so mad." "Maybe." "I gotta go. I hear the water turning off." The line went dead. Patrick sat in the silence of his hotel room, holding his phone like it was something precious. His son wanted him at a school breakfast. Such a small thing. Such an enormous thing. The next morning, Patrick did something he hadn't done in years. He went to a toy store. The shop was overwhelming. Aisles of bright colors and plastic and things that beeped and sang. Patrick wandered through it completely lost. "Can I help you?" A saleswoman appeared, smiling. "I need a gift. For my son. He's 6. I don't know what he likes." The saleswoman's smile softened. "First time, Dad?" "Something like that." She led him to a section filled with building sets, science kits, puzzles. "Get something he can do alone or with you." Patrick selected a complex building set with gears and motors, then a children's book about stars, and a stuffed animal, a lion with a brave face. "Having trouble choosing?" the saleswoman asked. "I want to get all of it. I missed 6 years." Her expression turned sympathetic. "You can't make up for lost time with toys, but you can start building new memories." Patrick bought everything anyway. That afternoon, he sat in a coffee shop across from Phoenix Moments, Salma's office. The building was modern, glass and chrome, with her company name in elegant letters across the front. He didn't go inside. He just watched. A woman emerged from the building, laughing into her phone. She was older, maybe late 40s, with kind eyes. She spotted Patrick, and her expression changed. She ended her call and walked directly to his table. "You're him," she said. Not a question. "I'm Patrick Walker." Rosa Mendez, Salma's business partner and best friend. She sat down without being invited. "The man who broke her heart is sitting outside our office like some kind of stalker." "I'm not stalking. I'm just trying to understand. Let me save you some time. You can't fix this." "Everyone keeps telling me that." "Because it's true. You have any idea what it took for her to rebuild? She was pregnant, broke, terrified. Your mother threatened her." Patrick felt sick. "My mother said what?" "You didn't know? Salma never told anyone the whole story. But I've been her friend for 5 years. Your mother told her she'd make sure the baby was never born." "I'm starting to realize what my mother is." "Good. So now what? You want to ride in and save Salma?" "She doesn't need saving. She saved herself." "I don't want to save her," Patrick said quietly. "I want to know her, the woman she is now." Rosa was quiet for a moment. "You know what the worst part was? She couldn't trust herself anymore. She'd built her whole identity around being smart. Then she fell in love with someone who believed lies about her at the first opportunity. I was shown evidence, bank records. I don't care what you were shown. Rosa's voice was hard. You should have known. When you love someone, really love them, you know what they're capable of. The words hit like hammers, because Rosa was right. I want to make this right, Patrick said. Then earn it, not with money or grand gestures, with time, with consistency. Rosa stood to leave, then paused. That father-son breakfast at Johann's school. She's going to let you go. How do you know? Because Salma wants Johann to have what she never did, a father. She'll sacrifice her own comfort for that boy. Rosa's expression softened slightly. Don't make her regret it. She walked back into the building, leaving Patrick alone with his coffee and his guilt. That night, Patrick got a text from a number he recognized. Salma. His heart jumped. He opened the message. Johann wants you at his school breakfast on Friday, 8 in the morning, Coral Bay Elementary. Don't be late. Don't embarrass him. Don't make me regret this. Patrick typed back immediately. I'll be there. Thank you. The response came a minute later. I'm not doing this for you. This is for Johann. I won't. Can I ask you something? A long pause. Then, what? Why did you leave without telling me about Johann? You would have what? Believed me over your mother. You didn't then. Why would a baby change that? Because it's different. A child changes everything. Your mother made it very clear what would happen if I stayed. I was young, scared, pregnant. She had power. She said she'd make sure I lost the baby. I believed her. Patrick stared at his phone, rage building. She threatened you while you were pregnant. Yes. Did she show you photographs? Of me with someone else? Another long pause. How did you know? Because I think they were fake. I think everything she showed both of us was lies. Maybe. Or maybe you're trying to rewrite history. I'm hiring a forensic accountant to examine the evidence. Will you look at what they find? Why would I care about ancient bank records? Because if I'm right, it means someone deliberately destroyed us. Don't you want to know who? The response took so long he thought she might not answer. Then finally, if you find proof, real proof, I'll look at it. But Patrick, even if your mother lied, even if she faked everything, you still believed it. You still chose her story over me. That's the part that hurt. The message felt final. Patrick typed, I know, I'm sorry. No response came. He sat in his hotel room, surrounded by evidence and toys and the wreckage of his old life, and wondered if sorry would ever be enough. Chapter 4. The Woman Who Doesn't Need Saving. Friday morning arrived wrapped in Miami sunshine. Patrick stood outside Coral Bay Elementary School at 7:45, dressed carefully in khakis and a button-down shirt. Not too formal, not too casual. He'd changed 3 times, trying to look like someone who belonged at a father-son breakfast. Other fathers arrived with their sons, men in business suits and construction uniforms and casual weekend clothes. They looked comfortable, natural. Patrick felt like an imposter. You came. He turned. Johann stood there in his school uniform, backpack on his shoulders, looking up at Patrick with those serious eyes. I told you I would. Lots of people say things they don't mean. I meant it. Johann studied him for a moment, then smiled. Small, tentative, but real. Come on, we have to sign in. They walked toward the entrance together. Patrick wanted to reach for Johann's hand, but didn't know if that would be welcome. Johann solved the problem by grabbing his hand first, his small fingers wrapping around Patrick's larger ones. Something in Patrick's chest broke open. Your hand is big, Johann said matter-of-factly. Yours will be too someday. They reached the sign-in table. A cheerful teacher with a clipboard smiled at them. Name? Johann Hayek, the boy said proudly, and this is my dad. The words hit Patrick like a physical force. My dad. Johan had said it so easily, so naturally. Wonderful. The teacher checked them off. Cafeteria is through those doors. The cafeteria was decorated with hand-drawn pictures. Long tables were set up with pancakes, fruit, juice. Fathers and sons filled the room with conversation and laughter. Patrick and Johan found 2 seats at the end of a table. Pancakes? Patrick asked. Yes, please. Mama never lets me have this many. They filled their plates and sat down. Patrick watched Johan attack his food with the single-minded focus of a hungry child. Other fathers chatted about sports and work. Patrick had nothing to contribute. Hey, Johan! A boy around Johan's age appeared. Who's that? My dad. Johan said it louder this time, like he was testing the words. The boy's eyes widened. I thought you didn't have a dad. I do. He just lives far away, in New York. Oh, cool. The boy ran off. Johan looked at Patrick. Is that okay, that I said you live in New York? It's fine. It's true, technically. Are you going to move here? I don't know yet. If you loved us, you would. The statement was delivered without malice, just childlike honesty. Patrick set down his fork. You're right, he said, and I'm thinking about it. Really? Really? My work is in New York, but maybe I can change that. Johan's face lit up. You should. Then you could come to my stuff all the time. What kind of stuff do you do? Soccer on Wednesdays, science club on Thursdays. Sometimes Mama takes me to the beach on weekends. That sounds nice. It is. Mama works a lot, but she always makes time for me. She says I'm the most important thing in her life. Patrick heard the message beneath the words. Johan was telling him what mattered, showing him what being a parent actually meant. Your mother sounds like an amazing mom. She's the best. Johan paused. She cries sometimes, though, when she thinks I don't know. I hear her at night talking about you. What does she say? That she wished things were different, that seeing you hurts. Johan looked up. Why does seeing you hurt her? Patrick struggled to find words a 6-year-old would understand. Because we used to love each other very much, and then something bad happened that separated us. Sometimes seeing someone you used to love reminds you of everything you lost. Do you still love her? Yes. Does she still love you? I don't know. Maybe. That's what I'm trying to find out. A microphone squealed. The school principal stood at the front. Welcome, fathers and sons. We have a few special activities planned. The next hour passed in a blur of games and activities. Patrick and Johan competed in a paper airplane contest. Johan's design won. They worked together on a puzzle. They laughed at terrible jokes. And Patrick watched his son. Really watched him. The way Johan concentrated when he was building something. The way he laughed, head thrown back, exactly like Salma used to laugh. The way he was gentle with smaller kids, protective. The way he was brilliant and kind. Patrick had missed 6 years of this. The loss felt crushing. As the breakfast ended, parents and children filed out. Johan grabbed Patrick's hand again. Thanks for coming, he said. This was the best father-son breakfast ever. It was my honor. Will you come to my soccer game next week? If your mother lets me. I'll ask her. She has to say yes. She always says family is important. They walked outside together. The morning sun was bright, almost blinding. Other families dispersed to their cars, and standing by the school entrance, arms crossed, Salma. She wore jeans and a simple white blouse, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looked casual, beautiful, terrifying. Johan ran to her. Mama, you came. Of course I came. I wanted to make sure everything was okay. It was great. We won the airplane contest, and Dad. Johan, baby, take a breath. Salma's eyes were on Patrick, though, assessing. Can he come to my soccer game next week, please? Salma's jaw tightened. We'll talk about it later. But Mama... Later, Johann. Her tone left no room for argument. The boy deflated slightly. Okay, I'm going to say bye to my friends. He ran off. Salma and Patrick stood alone in the morning sunlight, a universe of unsaid things between them. Thank you, Patrick said quietly, for letting me come. I didn't do it for you. I know. Johann told me. He deserves a father. I know what the hardest part was for you, Patrick said softly, and I'm sorry I wasn't there. Salma's hands were shaking. You know what? I'm glad now. Glad I raised him alone, because I got to make all the decisions, and he's perfect, Patrick. He's the best thing I ever did, and you don't get credit for that. I know I don't. Then why are you still here? Because I am his father, and I can't change that I missed 6 years, but I can be here now. Until what? Until you get bored? Until your real life calls you back? I quit. Salma blinked. What? I resigned from Walker Enterprises, officially, yesterday. I have no job, no company, no ties to New York anymore. You quit your family's company? Yes. Why? Because being here matters more than a corner office. I've spent 6 years being who my mother wanted me to be. I'm done. Salma stared at him, something flickering in her eyes. Surprise, maybe respect, then skepticism. That's a very grand gesture. It's not a gesture, it's a choice. And what are you going to do now? Find a place to live. Be here for Johann's soccer games and school events, finish investigating those bank records, and wait, however long it takes. What if it takes forever? Then I'll wait forever. Salma's laugh was brittle. You really think you can just will this into being fixed? No, I think I destroyed something precious. But I also think our son deserves a father who shows up, and I think part of you wants to know if I'm telling the truth. Even if that's true, it doesn't change the fact that you believed I could steal from you. Patrick had no defense. She was right. I'm sorry, he said. I know those words aren't enough, but I'll spend the rest of my life proving that sorry means something. Salma's eyes were bright with unshed tears. Your apologies won't change the past. No, but maybe they can change the future. Johann came running back. Mama, can we get ice cream? Salma looked at her son, at his hopeful face. Then at Patrick. Fine, she said finally. Ice cream. But then Patrick has to go. Johann's face lit up. Really? Really? They went for ice cream. Patrick drove his rental car behind Salma's Mercedes. They ordered chocolate for Johann, vanilla for Salma, coffee for Patrick. They sat at a picnic table outside, Johann chattering while Salma remained silent, watching Patrick with careful eyes. And for an hour, they almost looked like a family. But when Johann ran off to look at boats, Salma turned to Patrick with steel in her voice. Don't get used to this. Don't think this means anything. I won't. One breakfast, one ice cream trip, that's not a relationship. I understand. Do you? Because you look at me like you still love me. Patrick met her eyes. I do still love you, and I don't know if it can be fixed, but I have to try. Salma stood up abruptly. We're done here. Johann, time to go. Patrick watched them drive away again, watched his heart disappear down another Miami street. But something had shifted, something small. Salma had spent an hour with him voluntarily. It wasn't forgiveness, but maybe it was the first step towards something. Chapter 5. The truth that changes everything. Patrick's phone rang at 6 in the morning. He grabbed it, disoriented. Mr. Walker? A woman's crisp voice. This is Rebecca Torres. I've finished my analysis of those bank records. Patrick sat up instantly. And? Can you come to my office? This isn't something I want to discuss over the phone. An hour later, Patrick sat across from Rebecca Torres in her downtown Miami office. She was in her 50s, sharp-eyed and serious, with a wall of credentials behind her desk. She slid a folder across the desk toward him. Those transfers your mother showed you 6 years ago, they're fake. Very good fakes, but fakes nonetheless. Patrick's world tilted. You're sure? Completely. Look here. She pulled out a highlighted document. These routing numbers don't match any legitimate bank. They're ghost accounts, created specifically to make it look like money was being moved, but no money actually transferred anywhere. My mother created fake bank accounts. Or had someone create them for her. These statements look perfect to a casual observer, but forensic examination reveals inconsistencies. It's all there. Patrick stared at the papers, his hands shaking. So Salma never stole anything. Based on these records? No, there's no evidence any money went missing at all. My mother ruined my life over a lie. Rebecca's expression softened. I'm sorry. I know this isn't easy to hear. Do you have proof? Something I can show Salma? Everything's in that folder. Documented, notarized, ready for legal proceedings if necessary. Patrick took the folder with trembling hands. 6 years. 6 years of believing Salma was a thief. There's more, Rebecca said carefully. I did some additional digging. About a week after Salma would have left New York, someone made a large payment to a private investigation firm. The payment came from an account controlled by Justine Walker. My mother hired investigators? Yes. And according to my contacts, those investigators located Salma Hayek in Miami within 2 months. They reported her location to your mother. The room seemed to spin. What? Your mother knew where Salma was. She knew, and she didn't tell you. When you hired your own investigators later, your mother paid them to report they'd found nothing. Patrick couldn't breathe. The betrayal was so enormous, so calculated. Why? He whispered. I can't answer that. But the evidence is clear. Your mother systematically destroyed your relationship, then prevented you from finding her for years. Patrick stood, folder in hand, rage building like wildfire. Send me your final invoice, whatever it costs. Already done, Mr. Walker. Are you all right? No, but I will be. He left her office in a daze, walked to his car, sat behind the wheel staring at nothing. His mother had done this. She'd fabricated evidence, paid investigators to lie, kept him and Salma apart for years. She'd stolen 6 years of his son's life. His phone rang. Justine Walker. Patrick answered with a voice like ice. I know what you did. A pause. Patrick, what are you talking about? The bank records were fake. The investigators you paid to lie. All of it. I have proof. Silence. Then carefully. I don't know what you think you've found, but... Don't. Patrick's voice cracked. Don't you dare lie to me anymore. I have a forensic report. I have documentation. I know everything, Mother. The question is why? More silence. Then the mask dropped. Justine's voice went cold. Because she wasn't good enough for you. A nobody with no family, no connections. You were going to waste your life on her. You had no right. I had every right. I'm your mother. I know what's best for you. She was pregnant. You threatened a pregnant woman. I did what I had to do to protect you from the biggest mistake of your life. The biggest mistake of my life was believing you. Patrick was shaking. You stole my son from me. You destroyed the woman I loved. For what? Your pride. For your future. For Walker Enterprises. For everything that matters. None of that matters, Patrick screamed. Not compared to what I lost. You're being dramatic. You'll thank me someday. I'm done. Do you hear me? I'm done with you. Done with your lies. Done with everything you represent. You're not my mother anymore. Patrick, you're upset. Let's talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. Don't call me. Don't contact me. I never want to see you again. He hung up, blocked the number, sat in his car breathing hard, tears streaming down his face. Then he drove to Phoenix Moments. Salma's office was on the 2nd floor. Patrick bypassed the receptionist, took the stairs 2 at a time, found her door. He burst through it without knocking. Salma looked up from her desk, startled. What the... Patrick, you can't just... It was all fake. He threw the folder on her desk. The bank records, the evidence. My mother fabricated everything. Here's the proof. Salma stared at the folder like it might explode. What are you talking about? Read it, please. A forensic accountant examined everything. The transfers never happened. My mother created it all to make you look like a thief. Salma's hands moved slowly, opening the folder. She read the first page, then the second. Her face went white. This says that you never stole anything, that my mother lied about everything. She knew where I was. Salma's voice was barely a whisper. It says here she knew and never told you. For 6 years, she knew and she kept us apart. Salma looked up at him, tears streaming. Why? Because you weren't good enough for her vision of my life. Because she wanted to control me. Salma's hands were shaking. All these years, I thought you chose her. Believed I was a thief even though you knew me. You were right to think that. I did believe it, and I'm sorry. I should have trusted you. Stop. Salma held up a hand. Just stop. She stood, walked to the window, stared out at Miami. Patrick waited, his heart hammering. Do you know what the worst part is? She said finally. Part of me is relieved. Part of me is happy that you didn't just abandon us. Salma, but part of me is so angry I can't breathe. Because even if your mother lied, you still believed it. You still thought I was capable of betraying you. I know, and I have no excuse. Yes, you should have. She turned to face him. This doesn't fix everything, Patrick. This doesn't erase 6 years. I know. It doesn't change the fact that I built a life here without you, that I don't need you anymore. I know that too. Then what do you want from me? Patrick stepped closer. I want the truth between us. I want you to know that I never stopped loving you, that seeing Johan makes me grateful and devastated at the same time, and I want to know if there's any part of you that still loves me, because if there is, I'll fight for this. Salma's tears were falling faster. You're 6 years too late. I know, but I'm here now, and I'm not leaving, not unless you look me in the eye and tell me there's no hope. She stared at him for a long moment. Then quietly, I can't tell you that. Why not? Because it would be a lie. And I'm done with lies too. The air between them crackled with possibility. I kept your coffee mug, Salma whispered, for 6 years. I couldn't throw it away. I drove past our apartment every month, just sat outside, remembering. I told Johan stories about you, made you into someone far away instead of someone who left. He's so much like you, brilliant and brave. They were closer now, inches apart, 6 years of longing compressed into the space between their bodies. Salma? The office door burst open. Rosa stood there, breathless. Salma, we have a problem. The Rivera wedding, the venue just flooded. We need... She stopped. Should I come back? Salma stepped away from Patrick, wiping her eyes. No. What venue flooded? The Venetian. They're saying it'll take weeks to repair. The wedding is Saturday. Salma was already moving, pulling up contacts, switching into business mode. Patrick, you need to go. I have a crisis to manage. Can I help? No. This is my job. I handle it. Patrick nodded, understanding. This was Salma showing him who she'd become. Capable. Independent. He moved toward the door, then paused. Salma, what happens now? With us? She looked at him, her expression unreadable. I don't know. I need time to process this. Take all the time you need. I'll be here. Will you? Or will you go back when things get hard? I told you, I quit. I'm staying in Miami. Whether you forgive me or not, Johan deserves his father. Something in her expression softened. Okay. Okay. Patrick left, the folder still on her desk, proof of his mother's betrayal sitting there like a grenade. As he drove back to his hotel, his phone rang. Unknown number. Johan. Dad, can you come to my soccer game tonight, please? Dad, without hesitation this time. I'll be there, Patrick said. What time? 6. Cedar Park. Wear blue. That's our team color. I'll be the loudest one cheering. Promise? Promise. Patrick hung up, wiped his eyes, and wondered if redemption always felt like drowning and flying at the same time. Chapter 6. The game that changes nothing and everything. Cedar Park was packed with parents and the chaotic energy of children's sports. Patrick arrived early, wearing a blue shirt he'd bought specifically for this. He found a spot on the bleachers, surrounded by other parents who all seemed to know each other. He was an outsider, but he was here. Johan's team, the Blue Dolphins, was warming up on the field. Patrick spotted his son immediately, small compared to the other kids, but he moved with determination. First game? Patrick turned. A man about his age sat down beside him, friendly smile. Is it that obvious? Little bit. You have that terrified parent look. He held out his hand. My daughter's on the Dolphins, number 7. Patrick shook his hand. Patrick Walker. My son is number 12. Johan. Great kid, smart player. Pride swelled in Patrick's chest. He's brilliant. The game started. Patrick had never watched children's soccer before. It was chaos. A swarm of kids chasing a ball, parents shouting, coaches trying to maintain strategy. But Johan was different. He positioned himself, waited for opportunities, passed to teammates who had better shots. 10 minutes in, Johan got the ball near the goal. He could have shot. Instead, he passed to a teammate, a bigger kid who kicked it into the net. The crowd erupted, and Johan celebrated his teammate's goal like it was his own. Patrick's throat tightened. His son was kind. Yeah, Johan! Patrick shouted, louder than he'd intended. Johan looked up toward the bleachers, searching. His face lit up when he found Patrick. He waved, huge smile splitting his face. Patrick waved back, not caring that tears were streaming down his face. The Dolphins won. When the final whistle blew, Johan ran off the field straight to the bleachers, straight to Patrick. Did you see my pass? Patrick scooped Johan up and spun him around. I saw, that was incredible. I'm all sweaty. I don't care. Johan hugged him tight. You came. You really came. I told you I would. Johan. They both turned. Salma stood at the edge of the field, holding a water bottle. She wore jeans and a Dolphins team shirt, her hair pulled back. She looked young, beautiful. Mama, did you see? I got an assist. I saw, baby. I'm so proud of you. But her eyes were on Patrick. You came. He invited me. I know. They stood there, the three of them, an almost family frozen in an awkward moment. Can we get pizza? Johan asked. The whole team is going. Can Dad come too? Salma's jaw tightened at Dad, but she nodded. If he wants to. I want to, Patrick said quickly. Fine, Angelo's. Don't make me regret this. Angelo's pizza was chaos. 20 kids hopped up on victory, parents trying to maintain order, music too loud. The Blue Dolphins took over the back section. Patrick sat at a table with Salma, Johan and Rosa, who'd appeared like a bodyguard. So, Rosa said, not bothering with subtlety, I heard about the bank records. Your mother is quite the piece of work. Rosa, Salma warned. What? We're all thinking it. Rosa turned to Patrick. Your mother destroyed you deliberately. It's okay, Patrick said. She's right. My mother is a monster. And now what? You know the truth. What changes? Patrick looked at Salma, who was avoiding his eyes. I don't know, he admitted. That's up to Salma. No, Salma said quietly. It's up to both of us. This isn't just about my forgiveness. Johan, who'd been coloring, looked up. What's ruins? It's when something is broken, baby. Like when I broke my Lego castle and had to rebuild it. Salma smiled despite herself. Yes, like that. But I made it better the second time. Maybe you can make your thing better too. Out of the mouths of children. Patrick caught Salma's eye. She almost smiled. Maybe, she said softly. The pizza arrived. For a while they just ate, absorbed into conversations about school and sports and normal life. Patrick watched Salma interact with other parents, warm, friendly, respected. She'd built a community here. He was the outsider trying to force his way in. After pizza, Johan went to play arcade games. Rosa excused herself, and Patrick and Salma were left, alone at the table. You're good with him, Salma said finally, with Johan. He makes it easy. He likes you, talks about you constantly. Is that okay? I don't know. Part of me is happy. Part of me is terrified you'll disappear and break his heart. I won't. You can't promise that. I told you. I quit. I'm staying here. Why? What's in Miami for you besides us? Isn't that enough? Salma looked at him for a long moment. I don't know what to do with you, Patrick. You show up with proof that everything was a lie. You quit your job. You come to soccer games. But I don't know if hard work is enough to fix 6 years. What would be enough? I don't know. That's the problem. I built walls around my heart because letting you in the first time nearly destroyed me. And now you want me to just tear them down. I'm not asking to pick up where we left off. I'm asking for a chance to know who you are now. And if I never trust you again? If we co-parent but nothing more? The question hurt, but Patrick answered honestly. Then I'll accept that, because being in Johan's life is more than I deserve. Salma wiped her eyes. You really quit Walker Enterprises? Yes. Where are you living? A hotel, but I'm looking at apartments. In what neighborhood? Near Johan's school, maybe. Salma was quiet. Then, there's a rental in my building. 3rd floor, 2-bedroom. The tenant just moved out. Patrick's heart stopped. You want me to live in your building? I want Johan to be able to see his father regularly, and I want to see if you actually stay. Living close makes that easier. Salma, don't read into it. This isn't me forgiving you. This is me being practical. Okay. The terms are, you show up for Johan, you don't make promises you can't keep, and you give me space. Done. They stared at each other across the table, surrounded by noise and families. Something was shifting, something fragile and terrifying. Johan came running back. Mama, can Dad come to my school science night next week? Salma looked at Patrick, then at their son's hopeful face. Yes, she said, he can come. Johan cheered, threw his arms around both of them, pulling them into a group hug, and for just a moment, Patrick let himself believe that maybe this could work. Chapter 7. The photographs that destroyed everything. The apartment in Salma's building was small but perfect. 2 bedrooms, kitchen with a window, living room walls bare and waiting. Patrick moved in with almost nothing, some clothes, a laptop, the papers proving his mother's fraud. He was starting over. His first night there, someone knocked on his door. Johan stood in the hallway holding a plate covered in foil. Mama made extra dinner. She said you probably don't have food yet. Patrick took the plate, touched. Thank her for me. She says you're welcome, but this doesn't mean anything. Tell her I understand. Johan hesitated. Can I see your apartment? Of course. The boy wandered through, examining everything. It's empty. I just moved in. I'll get furniture. You need pictures. Mama says pictures make a place a home. What kind? Family pictures. Patrick didn't have any. Maybe you could draw me one, he suggested. Johan's face lit up. Really? Really? Okay, I'll make you the best picture ever, of all of us. After Johan left, Patrick ate the dinner Salma had sent, rice and beans and chicken that tasted like home. He sat in his empty apartment and wondered if this was what hope felt like. Science night at Coral Bay Elementary was a week later. The gymnasium was transformed into a showcase of projects. Kids stood proudly by their displays while parents circulated. Patrick arrived early, bringing flowers, yellow roses, Salma's favorites. He found Johan's station easily. His volcano was painted bright red, surrounded by hand-drawn warning signs. "Dad!" Johan waved. "Come see!" Patrick made his way through the crowd. Salma was already there, looking professional in dark slacks and a cream blouse. She saw the flowers, and something flickered in her expression. "Hi," Patrick said. "Hi, you didn't need to bring those." "I wanted to." Salma didn't take them, didn't reject them either. "Johan," she said, "show your father your project." For 20 minutes, Johan explained his volcano with the passion of a real scientist. Patrick listened, asked questions, took pictures. "Is that your dad, Johan?" one mother asked. "Yes," Johan beamed. "He just moved to Miami. He lives in our building now." Eyebrows raised. The gossip would spread. Let them. "Excuse me," a woman appeared. "I'm Mrs. Chen, Johan's teacher. It's wonderful to finally meet you. Johan's talked so much about his father." Patrick shook her hand. "It's good to be here. He's a special boy, brilliant student. He gets that from his mother." Salma, who'd been talking to another parent, glanced over. Something softened in her face. When Mrs. Chen walked away, Salma moved closer. "You didn't have to say that. It's true. You always did that. Give me credit even when you could have taken it. Because you deserve it." An hour later, after the science fair ended and Johan was with Rosa for a sleepover, Patrick stood in Salma's apartment for the first time. It was beautiful. Warm colors, photographs everywhere, pictures of Johan growing up. None of Patrick. Salma disappeared into her bedroom, emerged holding a shoebox. "I kept these," she said. "I don't know why." She opened the box. Inside were photographs, dozens of them. Patrick and Salma from 6 years ago, laughing, dancing, kissing. Evidence of a love that had existed. But there were other photographs too. Salma pulled them out with shaking hands. "Your mother gave me these, the night I left." The photos showed Patrick with a blonde woman. They looked intimate, his arm around her head on his shoulder, both laughing. "This is Catherine," Salma said. "Your mother showed me these and said you were using me, that you were going to marry her anyway." Patrick stared at the photographs. "I remember this event. This was a charity gala. Catherine was there with her parents. We talked for maybe 10 minutes. You look pretty comfortable." "Because they're fake." Patrick grabbed one, examined it closely. "Look at the lighting. This is photoshopped, like the bank records." Salma's voice shook. "I believed them. I was pregnant and scared, and your mother was so convincing." "I know. But these photos, they broke me, because it meant everything we had was a lie." Patrick pulled out his phone, found the real picture from that gala. "Look, this is what that night actually looked like." The photo showed a large group: Patrick, Catherine, her parents, his mother, and others. Everyone standing apart, formal, not intimate. Salma stared at both images. "She really did this?" "Yes." "Why?" "Control, her vision of my life. You didn't matter because you weren't part of her plan." Salma sat down heavily, photographs scattered around her. "I wasted 6 years hating you." "You didn't waste anything. Look at what you built. Look at Johan. But I could have done it with you. We could have raised him together." "I know, and I'm sorry." Salma looked up at him, tears streaming. "I kept your coffee mug because I couldn't let go. I drove past the hospital where Johan was born every year, remembering how alone I felt. Because even hating you, I couldn't stop loving you, and I hated myself for that. Patrick knelt in front of her. You have nothing to hate yourself for. You survived. You raised an incredible child. Did I? Because I kept him from his father. You were protecting him. Or I was a coward. You were 23 years old, pregnant and being threatened. You were surviving. Salma's face crumpled. I wanted to tell you, so many times. I'd look at Johan and see your eyes and think, he deserves his father. I want you, both of you. I've always wanted you. But you believed the lies. Yes, and that's on me. Patrick took her hands. I failed you completely. But I'm here now, and I love you. I never stopped. Salma pulled her hands away. Love isn't enough. I know. You hurt me in ways that don't just heal. I know that too. So what do? We build a new foundation, based on truth this time. Salma stood, paced to the window. I don't know if I can be vulnerable again. Then don't. Not yet. Just let me be here. Let me prove I'm trustworthy. And if I never love you again? The question hurt every time. Then I'll accept that, because having any part of your life is better than none of it. Salma turned to face him. You really quit everything for us? Yes. Why? Because none of it mattered without you. They stared at each other, 6 years and 1,000 lies between them. I need time, Salma said finally, to process this, to figure out what I feel. Take all the time you need. Patrick moved toward the door, then stopped. Salma, those photographs you kept, of us when we were happy, can I have copies? Why? Because Johan said I need family pictures to make my apartment a home. Something in Salma's expression cracked. I'll make you copies. Thank you. He left, went back to his apartment, and sat in the darkness wondering if love could survive being murdered and somehow resurrected. If trust could be rebuilt from ashes. If they could become a family after all. Chapter 8. The Mother's War. Patrick's phone rang at midnight. He grabbed it, disoriented. Unknown number. Patrick Walker? A man's voice, professional. This is Detective Rivera with Miami Police. I'm calling about Justine Walker. She's your mother? Patrick sat up, instantly awake. What happened? She's here in Miami. She showed up at an address registered to Salma Hayek about an hour ago. Building security called us. Your mother is claiming she has a right to see her grandson. Jesus! Patrick was already pulling on clothes. What's the address? The detective gave it. Patrick's building. I'm on my way. Don't let her near Salma or Johan. He ran downstairs, found Salma in the lobby with building security and 2 police officers. She was in pajamas and a robe, her face pale with fury. Johan was not with her, thank God. Patrick! She saw him, relief and anger mixing. Your mother showed up demanding to see Johan. She was screaming in the lobby. Justine Walker sat in a chair near the security desk, looking immaculate despite the late hour. When she saw Patrick, her face transformed. Finally! Patrick, tell them who I am. You have no rights here. Patrick's voice was ice. I'm his grandmother. You're a liar who destroyed his parents' lives. Justine stood, fury blazing. After everything I've done for you, everything you've done to me, the fake bank records, the photoshopped images, all of it. The detective perked up. Fake bank records? Yes, I have documented proof that my mother fabricated evidence to break us up 6 years ago. Justine's face went red. That's absurd. She owns her own successful company, Patrick shouted. The only monster here is you. I am your mother. You're a stranger, a cruel stranger who stole 6 years of my son's life. Salma moved closer to Patrick, her hand brushing his arm. United front. Mrs. Walker, the detective said carefully, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. If you refuse, we'll charge you with trespassing. You can't do this? Actually, we can. You're not on any approved visitor lists. Justine turned to Patrick, her expression transforming into something almost pleading. Patrick, please. I'm your mother. Can't we talk? There's nothing to talk about. I was trying to protect you. From what? From being happy? From making a mistake that would ruin your life. The only mistake I made was listening to you. Patrick's voice broke. You destroyed the woman I loved. You kept me from my son. For what? Justine's mask slipped. Her face went hard, cruel. That boy isn't even yours. Silence fell like a bomb. Salma gasped. Patrick stepped forward, rage incarnate. What did you just say? I said that child isn't yours. She probably got pregnant by someone else. Patrick laughed, bitter and harsh. He has my eyes, my face. Anyone can see he's mine. But if you want a paternity test, I'll get one, just to prove you wrong one more time. Mrs. Walker, the detective said firmly, you need to leave, now. I want to see my grandson. You threatened to harm him before he was born, Salma said, her voice shaking. You think I'd let you anywhere near him? Justine's face went white. I never... You did. Salma pulled out her phone, pulled up a file. Because I recorded our conversation. Patrick stared at Salma. You have a recording? Yes. Every threat. Everything. She pressed play. Justine's voice filled the lobby, cultured and cold. If you don't leave New York tonight, I will make sure that baby is never born. I have doctors who owe me favors. You have no family, no money, no power. I will destroy you and that bastard child. The recording ended. Silence filled the lobby. The detective's expression had gone very hard. Mrs. Walker, threatening an unborn child is a serious crime. I'm going to need you to come to the station. This is absurd. That recording is fake. We have analysts who can verify that. Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. As the detective read Justine her rights, she fought, screamed, threatened. But the officers were unmoved. They led her out in handcuffs, still protesting. Patrick and Salma stood in the lobby, breathing hard. You recorded her, Patrick said. All this time you had proof. I did, but I never planned to use it unless I had to. She's going to be charged. For the threats, the fraud, all of it. Good. Salma's voice was hard. She deserves it. They rode the elevator in silence. Salma got off at her floor. Patrick followed. Is Johan okay? He asked. He's at Rosa's. I called her the moment your mother showed up. He doesn't know any of this happened. Thank God. Salma turned to face him. This is your mother, Patrick. Are you okay? She stopped being my mother the moment I learned what she did. I'm sorry anyway. No. You and Johan are my family. She's just someone I used to know. Salma's eyes filled with tears. She really would have hurt our baby. But she didn't, because you were strong enough to protect him. I spent 6 years thinking I was a coward, but I was protecting him. Yes, you were being a mother. Salma wiped her eyes. I need to check on Johan. Can I come, just to see him, make sure he's safe? Salma hesitated, then nodded. Yes, come on. They drove to Rosa's apartment together. The sun was starting to rise, painting Miami in gold. Rosa opened the door, looking worried. Is she gone? She's in police custody, Salma said. It's over. They checked on him together. Johan was sprawled across the bed, peaceful, unaware. Patrick's heart clenched. He looks like you when he sleeps, Salma whispered. He's perfect. Yes, he is. They stood there watching their son sleep, and Patrick felt something shift between them, some wall crumbling. Patrick, Salma said quietly, what happens now? Your mother's going to face charges. Your family name will be all over the news. I'm sure, because the scandal isn't about me. It's about her. But your reputation? My reputation is being a good father to Johan. Nothing else matters. Salma looked at him for a long moment. Then, carefully, she took his hand. Thank you for being here tonight. for standing with me. Always. I will always stand with you. Don't make promises you can't keep. I'm not promising. I'm just telling you what I'll do. Every day. For the rest of my life. Salma's hand tightened around his. They stood there in Rosa's guest room, watching their son sleep, and for the first time in 6 years, felt like maybe they were on the same side, maybe they were becoming a family. Chapter 9. The Walls That Finally Crack. The news broke the next morning like a bomb. Socialite Justine Walker, arrested for fraud and threatening pregnant woman, screamed every headline. The recording Salma had kept, Justine's cold voice threatening an unborn child, played on every news channel. Within hours, Walker Enterprises' stock crashed. The board held emergency meetings. Former colleagues called Patrick's phone constantly. Patrick ignored all of it. He sat in his apartment, working on his laptop. He'd started consulting for small businesses, helping with financial strategy. Nothing glamorous, just honest work that helped real people. A Cuban family opening a restaurant, a single mother launching a cleaning service. People who reminded him what success actually meant. A knock interrupted him. Salma stood there holding a folder, her expression serious. "Can I come in?" "Always." She entered, looking around. His apartment wasn't empty anymore. Furniture he'd chosen carefully. Johann's drawings covered one entire wall, a gallery of stick figures and bright colors. Photographs on shelves showed them from 6 years ago. The coffee mug she'd kept had a place of honor on his counter. "You've made it a home," she said softly, touching Johann's latest drawing. 3 people holding hands under a rainbow. "Trying to. I saw the news. Your mother's face is everywhere. Are you okay?" Relieved, honestly, like a weight I didn't know I was carrying is finally gone. Patrick closed his laptop. "For years, I thought something was wrong with me, that I couldn't maintain relationships. Turns out, I had a monster destroying every chance I had at happiness." Salma sat on his couch, opened the folder. The lawyers found more. "Patrick, it's worse. Your mother did this to other women you dated. Gabriella from college, your mother paid her $50,000 to leave. Here's the signed agreement." She showed him documents. Patrick's hands shook as he read them. Gabriella's signature, his mother's attorney's letterhead. "Every serious girlfriend you had before me," Salma continued gently. "Your mother either paid them off or manufactured reasons for you to distrust them, over a decade of controlling your life." Patrick felt sick. He remembered Gabriella, how devastated he'd been when she'd left suddenly. It had all been lies. "She stole more than 6 years," he said quietly. "She stole my entire adult life." "I know." Salma moved closer, her hand finding his. "The prosecutors are building a massive case. Shell accounts, fake documents, payments to investigators. Your mother kept records of everything." Patrick stood, moved to the window. "I want her to pay for all of it. Every single crime." "She will. Fraud, extortion, criminal threats. The lawyers say 5 years in prison, maybe more." "Good." Patrick's voice was hard. "Let her know what it feels like to be powerless." Salma stood, put her hand on his shoulder. "I'm sorry. I know she's terrible. But she's still your mother." Patrick turned. They were inches apart. "She's not my mother anymore. You're my family. You and Johann. She's just a criminal." "Patrick, I need to tell you something." Salma's voice shook slightly. "Johann asked me last night when you and I are getting married." His heart stopped. "What did you say?" "I told him that adults have complicated feelings, that you and I are still healing, still learning to trust each other again." Her voice broke. "And he said, 'But Mama, you smile when he's around. You haven't smiled like that in forever. Doesn't that mean you love him?'" Patrick couldn't breathe. "What did you tell him?" "Nothing, because he's right. I do smile when you're around. And I'm terrified, Patrick. Terrified of admitting it. Terrified of being vulnerable again. Then be terrified, Patrick said, his hands cupping her face gently. But feel it anyway. Be scared and love me anyway. Because I'm terrified too. Terrified I'll mess this up. But I'd rather be terrified with you than safe without you. What if it's a mistake? What if it's not? What if this is exactly what we're supposed to do? They stood in the morning light, 6 years of pain between them. But also hope, also possibility. Can I try something? Patrick asked quietly. What? Can I kiss you? Really kiss you. Not desperate. A real kiss. And if you feel nothing, I'll never ask again. Salma stared at him for a long moment. Then, almost imperceptibly, she nodded. Patrick cupped her face in his hands, his thumbs brushing away tears on her cheeks. She was older now, with tiny lines around her eyes, but still the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen. He kissed her, and the world exploded. It wasn't gentle. It was 6 years of longing compressed into one moment. Salma made a broken sound and kissed him back with everything she had. Her hands grabbed his shirt, pulling him closer, his arms wrapped around her waist, holding her like she might disappear. They kissed like they were drowning, and each other was air. Like 6 years apart had been too long, and forever wouldn't be long enough. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard, tears streaming down both their faces. "Tell me you felt nothing," Patrick whispered against her lips. "I can't." Salma's voice was broken, beautiful. "I felt everything. Every moment of the last 6 years, every tear I cried, every night I dreamed about you, I felt it all." "Then stop fighting this. Stop protecting yourself from something that might be the best thing that ever happened to us. I'm scared. So am I. But I'd rather be scared with you than safe without you." Salma laughed, broken and beautiful and full of hope. "When did you get so good with words?" 6 years of wishing I could say them to you." She kissed him again, softer this time, sweeter, like a promise instead of an explosion. The door burst open. Johann stood there in his school uniform, Rosa behind him trying to hide a smile. "I'm sorry, he ran ahead," Rosa started. But Johann was staring at his parents, kissing in Patrick's apartment, and his face transformed into pure joy. "Finally!" he shouted at the top of his lungs. "I knew it! I told you, Rosa!" Salma pulled away, blushing. "Johann, baby, this isn't... we're not... You're kissing. That means you love each other. That means we're going to be a family." Patrick knelt down. "Is that what you want? For us to be a family?" "Yes!" Johann threw his arms around Patrick's neck. "More than anything, I want you and Mama together. I want us to live in the same house. I want to be like my friends who have both parents." Salma's eyes filled with tears. "Baby, it's not that simple." "Why not?" Johann pulled back, looking at his mother with those serious eyes. "You love him. He loves you. I love both of you. That's what families are. That's what you always tell me." Out of the mouths of children. Patrick looked at Salma over their son's head. "He's not wrong," Patrick said softly. "It's been 6 years. We can't just... Why not? We know the truth now. We know what kept us apart was lies. So why can't we try?" "Because I'm still scared." Salma's voice cracked. "Then be scared." Patrick stood, moved to her. "I'm scared too, but let's be scared together instead of alone." Johann looked between his parents. "Mama, you told me brave doesn't mean not being scared. Brave means doing the right thing even when you're scared. Isn't loving Dad the right thing?" Salma knelt down, pulled Johann into a tight hug. When she looked up, her cheeks were wet. "When did you get so wise?" she whispered. "I learned it from you. You're the bravest person I know." She looked at Patrick over Johann's shoulder, and something in her expression shifted. the last wall crumbling. If we do this, if we really try, we do it right. Therapy, honest conversations, rebuilding trust slowly. Whatever you need, Patrick said, however long it takes. And if it doesn't work, if we try and it falls apart, then we co-parent like adults and never let Johan suffer. But Salma, I think we're different people now, stronger, wiser. I think we can build something that lasts. Rosa cleared her throat. For what it's worth, I've watched you both for weeks. You're different together, better. You make each other laugh, and that kid deserves to see his parents happy. Salma stood, wiping her eyes, looking at the three people who'd become her world. Okay, she said finally. Okay, we try. But slow, Patrick, we go slow. As slow as you need. Johan pumped his fist in the air. Yes! Can I tell my friends I have a dad now? I don't live with you yet, Patrick said gently, but maybe someday soon. When? When your mother is ready. Johan turned to Salma with those big pleading eyes. Mama, please? She laughed despite her tears. You're impossible, both of you. Fine, we'll talk about it. But slowly, and with lots of conversations first. Johan hugged them both, pulling them together into a family hug that felt like coming home. This is the best day ever, he said. Patrick met Salma's eyes over their son's head. She smiled, small and tentative but real and full of hope. Maybe it was the best day ever. Maybe they were finally becoming the family they should have been all along. Chapter 10. The reunion earned 3 months later. Patrick stood in a courtroom watching his mother receive her sentence. The judge's voice was steady, unemotional. 5 years in federal prison for fraud, extortion, criminal threats, witness tampering. Justine Walker, who'd spent her entire life controlling everything, would spend the next 5 years with no control at all. She didn't look at him as they led her away. Her head was high, refusing to show weakness. Patrick felt nothing. She'd stopped being his mother the day he learned what she'd done. Outside the courthouse, Miami sunshine hit him like a blessing. Salma waited with Rosa, both women looking at him with concern and love. Salma took his hand. How do you feel? Free. Patrick breathed in deeply. For the first time in my life, completely free. They drove to Johan's school to pick him up from soccer practice. Patrick had been to every practice for 3 months, every game, every school event, proving through consistent action that he was staying. Salma had been cautious at first, keeping careful distance. But slowly, day by day, her walls had crumbled. Dinners together became regular. Movie nights with Johan became tradition. Long conversations after Johan went to bed became the highlight of Patrick's days. Kisses that had started terrified became certain and sweet. They'd started couples therapy with Dr. Martinez, a no-nonsense woman who didn't let them hide. She made Patrick examine why he'd been easy to manipulate. She made Salma confront her fear of vulnerability. The sessions were brutal, necessary, like setting broken bones so they could heal correctly. But it was working. God, it was working. Johan ran toward them from the field, sweaty and ecstatic. Did you see? Coach said I'm getting better. He said if I keep practicing, I might make the advanced team. We saw, baby, Salma said, pulling him into a hug. You were incredible. Dad, did you see my goal? Dad. Johan said it so naturally now. I saw it, Patrick said, his throat tight. Best goal of the game. They went for ice cream after, their weekly tradition. Patrick had learned Johan loved chocolate with rainbow sprinkles, always asked for a cone, saved the bottom tip for last. Small details, father details, things he was desperately making up for now. Later that evening, after dropping Johan at Rosa's, Patrick and Salma sat on her couch, alone. They'd been taking things slow, but slow was starting to feel like torture. Patrick, Salma said softly, her hand finding his. I've been thinking about what Johan keeps asking, about us being a family. His heart jumped. And? And I think I'm ready. There's an apartment opening next to mine next month. I was thinking, maybe you could take it. Give Johan easy access to both of us without rushing. Patrick's throat tightened. You mean it? I mean it. You've shown up every single day, Patrick. Rain or shine. You've been patient when I was scared. You've earned this. I'll keep earning it, Patrick said, pulling her close, every single day for the rest of my life. I know, that's why I'm saying yes. Patrick pulled back, looked into her eyes. I love you. I never stopped loving you. Even when I thought you'd betrayed me, even when I tried to hate you, I loved you. I love you too. Salma's tears spilled over. I tried so hard not to, but I couldn't help it. They kissed, and this time there was no fear, just certainty, just love that had survived and found its way back. Stronger, deeper, real. There's something else, Salma said. Johan asked if you and I got married. Could he be the ring bearer? Patrick's heart stopped completely. What did you tell him? I told him we weren't there yet. That marriage is a big step. But that maybe, someday. She looked at him carefully. Was I wrong? No. Patrick took her hand, pressed it against his chest. We are not there yet. We have more healing to do, more trust to build. But someday? He smiled. Someday I'm going to marry you, Salma Hayek, when we're both absolutely certain. And yes, Johan will be the ring bearer. Salma's tears fell faster. You're really staying. I chose you and Johan over everything else, and I'd make that choice again every single day. 6 months later, Patrick proposed on the beach where they'd taken their first vacation as a family. The sun was setting, painting the sky gold and pink. Johan had helped him plan everything, hiding the ring in a sandcastle they'd built. When Patrick got down on one knee, when Johan presented the ring with a huge grin, when Salma started sobbing and laughing and said yes, Johan screamed so loud the entire beach turned to look. People applauded, strangers cheered, and Patrick kissed her while their son danced circles around them in the sand. A year after that, they married in a small ceremony at Salma's favorite botanical garden. The venue was intimate, beautiful, filled with flowers and sunlight. Johan was ring-bearer, wearing a custom tuxedo, his chest puffed out with pride. Rosa was maid of honor, crying before the ceremony started. A handful of close friends filled the chairs. No society pages, no cameras. Just love, pure and hard-won. Patrick's vows made everyone cry. You saved me from a life that looked perfect but felt empty. You gave me a son I didn't know I needed. You taught me that trust is earned through consistency, that love is proven through action. That family isn't about blood. It's about choosing each other every single day. I choose you, Salma. Today and forever. Salma's vows were equally devastating. You came back. When you could have stayed away, when you could have let the lies win, you came back. You fought for us. You earned every ounce of my trust through patience and presence. You're not the man I fell in love with 6 years ago. You're better. You're real. And I choose you too, Patrick. Always. Johan stood between them, holding both their hands, his smile so wide it looked painful. When the officiant said, "You may kiss your bride," Johan shouted, "Finally!" And the entire venue dissolved into laughter. At the reception, Patrick danced with his son first. Johan stood on Patrick's feet, letting his father spin him around. "Dad? Yeah, buddy? Are you happy now? Like really, truly happy?" Patrick looked over at Salma, laughing with Rosa, her wedding dress glowing in the light, his wife, his everything. "I'm happier than I ever thought was possible," he said honestly. "Good, because Mama's happy too. I can tell. She smiles all the time now. She sings in the kitchen. She doesn't cry at night anymore." Patrick's throat tightened. "She used to cry at night." "Yeah, for a long time, but not anymore. Not since you came back." Johan looked up at him. Thank you for coming back. Johan, listen to me. Patrick stopped dancing, knelt down. I'm the one who should be thanking you. You sent that photograph. You gave me a second chance I didn't deserve. You're the bravest person I know. Johan threw his arms around Patrick's neck. I love you, Dad. I love you too, son. More than you could possibly know. Later, as the sun set, Patrick and Salma had their first dance as husband and wife. They swayed together to a song about second chances and coming home. Thank you, Patrick whispered. For what? For being brave enough to let me in again, for trusting me with your heart after I broke it. Thank you for not giving up, Salma whispered back. For proving that people can change, that love can heal, that broken things can be made whole. As their dance ended, Johan squeezed between them, demanding to be part of it, and they danced together, all three of them, as a family, finally, completely, forever. And Patrick looked at his family and knew with absolute certainty that some things were worth fighting for, worth waiting for, worth choosing over and over again. 6 years ago, his mother had tried to destroy their love with lies, but love, real love, couldn't be destroyed. It could be buried, nearly killed, but if it was strong enough, it found a way back. It survived. It became something better than before. Sometimes broken things, when put back together with care and truth, became stronger than they ever were whole. Sometimes the best love stories were the ones that survived the worst pain. Patrick kissed his wife, held his son, and knew that despite everything, despite 6 years of loss and pain, he was the luckiest man alive, because they were finally home, all three of them, together, forever. The end.